Knightley from Trident Waters. I'm so pleased to meet you again, Andrew. It's been a while.
Yes, you too, Anne. It's good to be having a little chat again.
It was a New Wave of Classic Rock Web Fest, I think we last spoke at. So that was what? That was during lockdown last year? I don't know.
Yeah,
the whole lockdown is a blur for me. I don't remember which year was which.
Might have been the year before. I actually don't know either. I think it might have been the year before.
Right.
But it's been a long time.
It would have been before your album was launched, I believe.
Yes.
Because your album, it was Opus Armada, and that came out on the 15th of October. So you had a lovely launch party at the Lounge in Archway in London.
Mm-hmm.
How'd that go?
Certainly did. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. It was a few months ago. Yeah, I mean, it was, it was a good night. It was a sort of decent turnout considering it was kind of just coming out on the back of lockdown. I think I say in and out of lockdown. Are we out of lockdown yet? I don't know. But considering the circumstances at the moment, anyway, it's getting worse again. But I think that was kind of Omicron sort of period. But no, it was good anyway. Yeah, really enjoyed it. It was a fun night. Yeah. So a lot of old faces.
How's the album been received?
Pretty well, I think. We've had sort of positive feedback from it so far. I think it's been a bit of a sort of slow burner, really, because we couldn't really sort of do much touring last year or anything. But I think people are enjoying it. I think more people need to listen to it than have done already. But hopefully the sort of tour will change that, which is coming up over the next few months.
It certainly is. So we're going to talk about that. So tell us about the tour. So you've got this Opus Armada headline tour, and you've just announced White Raven Down and Madre's son as support on the tour, as well as Sons of Liberty, who you just done 3 shows with up north. Well, in February you did. So yeah. How do you actually decide who to take on tour and who's going to support you? How does that all work?
Well, it's quite difficult, really. It depends who's sort of available, who's up for it, who can do what, obviously, because most people have kind of got day jobs and things anyway, and they've got their own gigs going on as well. So you just kind of work it out and speak to different bands and kind of see who's up for it and who wants to do it, really. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to kind of make it happen. So sort of White Raven Down are a great band. Madre's son, perhaps not quite so well known on the sort of circuit, but they're kind of sort of Fred Wilson's friends with a couple of them. They're a sort of awesome band from London. And of course there's Sons of Liberty. I mean, we're sort of playing a few shows with them and had a few things booked for later in the year as well. So they're just awesome guys to like hang out with, go out on the road with.
I saw them a couple of weeks ago, in fact.
Yeah.
A couple of weekends ago, yeah.
The funny thing is, when we were out with them in February a few weeks ago, we sort of had a day off on the Saturday, I think it was, or was it Friday night, and we all decided to go to Liverpool. We stayed in the same hotel as them. They got there a little bit earlier than us. And we was all meant to go out for a night out together, the 2 bands, and just kind of hang out and have a good old chat. And we all got so drunk, we didn't even meet up. They kind of like went their own way. We went our own way. They were in the Cabin Club like 3 hours before us. Then we were kind of in there and just stayed in there, and then didn't have a night out. Well, everybody had a night out, but just not together, basically. So that was interesting. But yeah. But no, they're nice guys. So
they're like father figures to you. I mean, there's quite an age gap there. So does it feel that way?
Don't tell them that, but
I'm sure they're aware of it. I mean it in the nicest possible way.
Yeah, like definitely.
That, kind of,
yeah,
going out with friends of your dad's or that type of thing.
Yeah, they're kind of like long lost uncles, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what
musical
I mean.
uncles. Yeah, I mean, they've got sort of cool equipment and nice guitars and stuff, and obviously we sort of talk about that kind of thing and music generally. Admire each other's kind of like tone, in sound check and that kind of jazz. And they've got some very catchy tunes as well. After sort of 3 nights of hearing them, they really get stuck in the head. So yeah, so I'm gonna have them in my head for the next year probably, but could be worse.
So your tour starts on the 13th of May and it goes right through to the 6th of August, including festivals. So you've got Breaking Bands Festival, SOS Fest. I will be seeing you at SOS Fest because I cannot wait for that. Absolutely love that festival. And Drunken Monkey, which I've not been to before.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Yeah.
Is that down south?
It's down in Worcestershire, yeah.
Right, okay.
Not far from where the Iron Road is. I forgot the what it says. Fortunately, I've got my website open here. It's a bit last minute dates, and I'm like, I don't really know now. So I can tell you, yeah, it's in Upton upon Severn. It's for the air ambulance, basically. It's like a sort of charity kind of festival where money goes to the local ambulance, yeah. No, it's a cool little festival. I've done it a couple of times before. No, Stu, the guy that runs it, actually did a little cameo on Eva Lane. Little interesting fact for you when we were recording. So he popped into the studio, and on the Hey Hays at the end of each chorus, like we got him in to do the Hey Hays. So you can hear Stu on that, who runs the Drunken Monkey Festival.
Okay. And you know, in fact, it was Eva. I'm pleased you mentioned Eva Lane. I absolutely love that single, and I remember when I first heard it, and that's what first pricked my ears up. I thought, who's this band? You know, and I hadn't heard of you, I don't think, at that point. And I love that song. Would you say that's your favourite song? Of yours? Have you got anything?
I love them all equally.
I'm always afraid to ask. Yeah, I'm always afraid to ask that question.
No, I do. Yeah, no, it's cool.
Who's your favourite child? Tell me.
I couldn't disclose that, no. But it is a favourite. I mean, I think for the crowd as well, you know, it's a song we always play. We can never leave it out of the set list. There's certain songs that you never leave out. Yeah. And that is one of them.
Now, you've also been announced, we should mention, for Dementia-Aware Fest. And this is Nambucca, London, 17th of September.
Yes, that's right. That one's not on my list in front of me, but yes, we have, yeah. So we're actually meant to do it anyway before COVID or in the middle of COVID or at some point. So it's been sort of on the back burner for a little while. So it's good to be able to actually do it at last. Obviously, it's a sort of great charity event. Yeah. Something, you know, we're sort of happy to get involved with. But it's a great lineup as well. So some awesome bands on there. So it should be a good day out, really. Hopefully sort of pack the place out.
Tell me, if you could change, this is serious, if you could change anything about the music scene, what would it be? I do like popping this question in every now and then.
If there's anything I could change, things that I would like to see are more people attending events at a grassroots level. Things that I would like to change. Maybe just kind of, how can I put this without sounding a bit arsey? A bit more of the, I've never been a huge one with scenes generally. Yeah. And I'd like it if it wasn't quite so scenester sometimes, and people were more just about the music than arguing about silly politics or trying to put one band above another. Because there's a lot of that goes on, and I've never been into scenes. Do you know what I mean?
Do you mean like cliques or?
Yeah, like cliquiness. I find there's a lot of cliquiness, and I don't like that. Some of the ways that, you know, things are run. I'm just picking a pick up off the floor. Like certain events are not run very well. There's certain promoters as well that don't always pay bands when you play on their venue.
This is very topical.
Talk of this recently as well. Yeah. So I'd like it if people would just pay when they say they're going to pay, even if it's only small amounts of money. It's just the principle more than anything, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
What's next for Trident Waters? Because you're now finally able to tour this album, so you're going to be busy all the way through to the summer. What's going to happen afterwards? What will you be doing?
Yeah, it's a good question. So we are, as you said, we are touring May, June, July. We've got, I can't remember exactly how many dates. There's like about 16 dates or something like that over those 3 months, all over the UK. And then after that, we're going to be doing a few festivals and bits and pieces over the summer. I'm just reminding myself here. And then the beginning of September, we have got the Quireboys. Again, that's been cancelled like 2 or 3 times now. We'll be supporting them at the Forum in Kentish Town.
Oh, one of my favourite venues. I've not been there many times, but yeah, that was really close to my school. And I remember going there, like hearing bands rehearse, practice, sound check and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome venue. So I mean, it's going to be a bit of a sort of homecoming gig in a way. Like, I mean, I don't live around there anymore either, but for me, like the Forum is one of those, you know, for many years it's been a local venue.
Yeah.
Local to where I was living. So it's going to be great to play there. For me, that's kind of a bit like, you know, people say about playing the Albert Hall. For me, it's going to be so awesome to just turn up there and play those 2 dates. And then after that, we're sort of looking at other dates for the rest of the year. I mean, we're going to push it pretty hard this year. And then maybe start looking at another album. I mean, in the background, we're sort of writing all the time, and there's a lot of new ideas getting formulated. So maybe that. I mean, there's, you know, like the general kind of live music scene is still suffering. You know, there's a lot of American artists not coming over here. A lot of people obviously don't have the confidence yet to want to, you know, go in crowded rooms with like hundreds of thousands of people, and I don't blame them. So it's still quite a sort of challenging time. But you know, we're just going to sort of push on through it, and then hopefully do another album at some point. But I don't know when we're going to squeeze it in yet.
Have you got ideas already for the album? I mean, I know you said you're writing all the time. Is it going to be going in a different direction from what you've done previously? Because apart from your album you've got now, you've already done several EPs. So, so how do you see a direction going forward?
Well, there's a few directions that have sort of been discussed. I mean, you know, not in a too convoluted way, but I mean, obviously, as a band, we do cover a lot of different ground, really. But for this record, the next one, I'd like it to be a kind of focused in a given direction, whether that be more of a very stripped down kind of, you know, sort of heavier sort of vibe to it, or whether it be a more bluesy vibe. You know, I just think we want to do something that sounds very, very consistent as an album this time. Not that Opus Armada doesn't, but you know, if you look at a lot of other bands, we always seem to diversify the material, because I love to do that. But I think sometimes a sort of audience wants a kind of album that just sounds like has a particular direction to it. So, you know, but having said that, there's loads of stuff just coming out, really. Lots of different stuff, really bluesy stuff through to really heavy tracks, almost like sort of stoner kind of thing going on, with a new pedal that I've got and have been playing with. You know, because you get something like that. Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, wow, listen to that. And you know, it's just like you've got this really fat kind of like Monster Magnet vibe going on. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we're just going to write as much as possible, I think, and then off of that, take what we think that direction should be, cutting through the middle of all that material, if that makes sense. And,
And speaking of direction, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
I don't know. That's a proper job interview question.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would like to, you know, think that we'd have a bigger audience, bigger reach. Could be, you know, go European, transatlantic, and take on the world.
Have you ever toured abroad? Have you done a European tour, or?
Only little bits in France years ago. We've done. I mean, we did a gig in France last year. There was talk of one this year, but not a lot of international stuff. Not at the moment. No. I mean, possibly next year. That would be good. But it's still, again, it's been a bit difficult times. You know, you've had Brexit and you've had COVID, and it's all been a bit awkward for bands trying to tour at this level anyway, where there's not a lot of money in it, you know. So sort of see. We'd love to, though. We'd like to.
Okay. Tell us what your website is so people can go and check it out.
Okay, the website is tridentwaters.com. So that, I mean, the plan for this year is really to just get out there, play as much as we can after, I don't know, 2 years of not being able to do it really. And we'll sort of take it from there really, yeah.
Okay, very lastly, do you actually have any tea left in your cup? Because I finished mine ages ago and I've got a bigger mug than you.
Yeah, a little bit.
How? It must be stone cold.
A little bit cold. I don't mind it being a little bit cold. It's not, you know, it's lukewarm. But
Yeah,
I'm conscious of it now, so I'm going to drink it. So.
Yeah, you drink that tea. There you go. Well, look, enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Nice talking.
I am definitely looking forward to seeing you at SOS Fest. So I don't know if you've been there before, but that's definitely going to be a good one, and a new venue as well. So
Cool.
we'll have a big welcome for Manchester. I'm sure of that.
Fingers crossed. Hope so.
Yeah,
cool.
And all the best with everything else you got on.
Wicked. All right, Anne. Nice one.
Take care.
Good talking. Okay.
Bye.